Morning, folks. Welcome back to Mark Kelly Farms. It's probably 3 degrees outside, and I decided I wanted a good stick to my ribs breakfast. So, that being said, the only thing that's going to fit that bill is biscuits and gravy. Most people don't know how to make biscuits and gravy. They buy that little powdered package thing, and that's not the way to go. Make it like your grandma used to make it. And I know grandma didn't used to measure nothing. But I'm going to show you a foolproof way. I'm going to give you some measurements that you're never going to fail with. So here we go. First thing you got to do is cook your bacon. After you get your bacon cooked, you want to drain it. And then you want to pour off about a quarter cup of that grease. And if you can't eyeball it, feel free to measure it. I pour it into a coffee mug because coffee mugs are designed to have hot stuff poured into them. And do not get rid of that grease. You can make gravy again tomorrow, or you can cook green beans in it or make biscuits with it or whatever. Save it. Your grandma used to. But after you get that grease drained off, you want to put a quarter cup, which is an equal part of flour. You always want an equal part of flour and fat, whatever you're using. And for this recipe, we're using a quarter cup and a quarter cup. And then after you get the flour in there, feel free to salt and pepper it as much as you want. You're going to need plenty of it. And then you're going to stir that up until it makes what's called a roux. And the more you cook that roux, the less it's going to be able to thicken liquid. So I like my gravy white. So I cook it just very little just to incorporate the flour. And then I move on to the next step. The next step is to add your liquid. So we're making country gravy, so you got to use milk for that. Some people way back in the day used water, and they were perfectly fine with that. But I like to use milk with mine. It's going to take exactly 2 cups is the ratio to put that, and you want to pour it all in one installment. Don't pour it in slow, and watch out for the steam. Pour it away from you if you're pouring it in the pan, and then you're going to stir that up. You want to keep that mixture stirred up. I like using a spatula. I don't use a whisk because I don't feel I can cover the whole bottom of the pan with a whisk. You want to make sure you're scraping the whole bottom of the pan while you're stirring. And then once that mixture becomes to a boil, and once it starts bubbling, that's as thick as it's going to get. If it comes out too thick, do not worry. You don't have to wallpaper with it. Just pour a little more milk in the mix and stir it up, and you'll be just fine. Remember that bacon that we cooked? I like chopping it up, putting it right on top. That's how you do it, and it's just that easy. It's going to be a life-changing experience for you. You're not going to have better biscuits and gravy than that. And it's super simple. I don't know why more people don't do it. You can use sausage. I love making sausage gravy, but unfortunately Kelly does not like sausage. So I make her bacon gravy, and then if she's not home for some reason, I'll go ahead and make my sausage gravy. I leave the sausage, I crumble it up like you brown hamburger for like taco meat, and I leave it right in there, and I dump the flour in there and make it all. I don't even take the sausage out. I also like mine heated up a little bit, so I put maybe about a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper in it, just to kick it up a notch. It's not so much where it makes it too hot. It gives it a nice little flavor, and it's really good. Now, if you remember that ratio of a quarter cup and a quarter cup and 2 cups of liquid, that's good enough for, say, you and your wife. But if you got a family of 4, you got company coming over, you can always multiply that. You can go to a half a cup and a half a cup with 4 cups of liquid and just keep on multiplying as much as you want. And like I said, if it gets too thick, just pour in a little more liquid. Now, you can use this for lots of other stuff. You can make sauces, use that same ratio. You can use any fat. You don't have to use bacon grease. You can use butter. You can use olive oil. You can use pan drippings after you fry chicken. All you need is some fat. It can be any type of fat. The flour, remember, always the same ratio, fat to flour. As far as liquid goes, sky's the limit. If you're making gravy for, say, meatloaf or something like that, use those meatloaf drippings and use some beef stock for the liquid. Say you made a steak and you want a gravy to go over your steak, you can throw some mushrooms in there and some onions and use beef broth for that. If you really want to kick it up, use half beef broth and half like red wine or something. Sky is the limit. If you're making chicken gravy, use chicken broth. You can go crazy with this. And if you guys are out there, if you're still single, you learn how to make sausage and gravy, you ain't going to be single very long. Them ladies going to be smacking them lips. So if you got any questions or comments, feel free to ask. I'll get back to you and answer any questions you got. But sky's the limit with this recipe. You don't just have to make country gravy with it. I hope this helps you out. As usual, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time. Hey, wait a minute. One more thing, or maybe two. Make that gravy without the bacon, or even with the bacon, or just with some butter and salt and pepper and milk. Pour that over cooked cauliflower or broccoli, really good. You can even melt cheese into it and serve it over noodles or do whatever you want with it. Cook some Italian sausage would be really good, and make like a sausage gravy with the Italian sausage and melt some Parmesan cheese into that and put that over some fettuccine noodles. I think that'd be crazy good. But I've never tried it, but it sounds really good. But like I said, sky's the limit. Go crazy with this. Love you guys. See ya. Well, I did say two more things, not just one. Sorry, I keep forgetting stuff, and I keep remembering things that you can do. And like I said, the sky's the limit, so you can go just absolutely bananas with this. So the other thing I wanted to add, say you made chicken fried steak or fried chicken or something like that, use that seasoned flour as your flour in your mix. You might want to back off on the salt and pepper just a little bit if you do, but that's really good too. Use that seasoned flour that's left over. Don't just throw it in the trash. The other thing, really good dinner, scramble up some hamburger and make a hamburger gravy with the salt and the pepper and heat it up, whatever spices you want. Put that over toast or even biscuits. I think they used to call that shit on a shingle, pardon my French, but that was the term back in the day. You could feed a lot of people with that. They did that in the military a lot, but super good. I promise you I'm done, okay?